You're watching the BTC Racing line. You are now part of the team. Joining me now on BTC Racing line is Michael Creasy from the 777 car. Creasy, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good. Thanks very much. Can't be buzzing now. It's race week. Finally, to get in that car at the end of this week's tomorrow. Because we've got a shakedown tomorrow. So it's all about to start getting real.
Yeah, everyone's getting quite excited about it now. I sort of saw earlier on social media, lots of the fans are sort of going, "Yeah, come on, we can't wait to get to see the cars in action." Although obviously the fans won't be there, but it'll be great for you guys to give them something to watch over the weekend.
Yeah, I think there is general sale on tickets for the public, but unfortunately, it's not going to be the same experience as a normal touring car weekend because we're locked away in our little bubble in the paddock. But yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that they can actually get out of the house though and pay to come in as a spectator. I suppose it'd be like watching Formula One for them now, and not getting near us, but which is a downside. But yeah, I just think it's going to be a real buzzing weekend. The whole vibe, the whole team, the whole paddock, everyone's itching to get back, and it's going to be a good spectacle to watch on the TV.
I asked you just at the beginning, you're from car number 777. I'm sure you've been asked this lots of times. I don't know the answer yet. Why did you choose that number? Is there any reason?
There's a couple of reasons, yeah. I mean, my favourite number is 77. It always has been. It's been a bit of a family thing, and Ayrton Senna once had that number back in the day, and it's just been that number been flying around. And when we went for 77 originally, my first ever year in GRDC Cup, there was someone who had already taken it, and my sponsor who made everything happen. He's the biggest, nicest person I've ever met. He's become more of a father figure to me than a sponsor, and our relationship, it's his birthday today. So massive shout out to Vince Caldicott from Premier Contract Suppliers. And he's a massive Christian. And 777, is a sign of Jesus Christ. And we ended up opting for 777, and that's how it stuck. So, and it looks cracking. It's everything. Creasy 777 has become a bit of a brand in itself. And so that's the story behind that number.
Great. I mean, I think there's so many stories, isn't there, from drivers that have chosen particular numbers. But that's great to hear. Now, we're starting the weekend at Donington Park. How do you feel about the Donington Park circuit?
Mixed bag, really. I mean, last year, when you look back here, when my first ever race around there in a British touring car, it actually pretty much was one of my best weekends because I opted the first race on the hard tyre, which is about a second of a lap slower than everything else. So I got that out of the way early doors, made up some places. Obviously, there was a big accident in race 1, which helped out moving up the grid. Race 2, put the mediums on, had a solid race. And then race 3, I started from the grid from 16th position on the grid. And I don't think I started that high up all season after that. So even though we only made 2 corners because my teammate had me off down the crane of curves, he ran a bit wide, I dodged to miss him, ended up in the gravel. But we were on such a strong race because I think we started 16th and nine of the people in front of us had the slower tyre on. And we had the fast tyre on going into the last race. So it could have been a real good points finish. But unfortunately, it didn't work out like that. But if you actually look back on form, that was one of my strongest weekends. So I'm buzzing about getting back there this weekend.
I mean, it's always great to take that positive reflection from a race circuit and knowledge into your next season, which you're in now. Now, we know there's some changes, obviously. You're with a different team and we've got different tyres for this year. But Donington Park particularly is quite hard on tyres, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, there's a lot of undulation as well, down the hill, climbing back up the hill, and you've got very, you've got two turns after that, which are very tough on the tyre, and it's all about managing that on the traction on the exit out of them corners. But I feel like the test at Snetterton's really, really taught me how to drive this car. This car is difficult car to drive in comparison to last year with regarding the engine. The engine's a great engine in this car, and it's so responsive. And where I'm used to the other engine that I ran last year, you could put your foot down quite easily, but this engine you really have to coax it in. But the pickup and everything's there. So what I was doing at Silverstone was spinning the wheels up a little bit, which was obviously the tyre life was dying straight away, where Josh Cook sort of took me to one side, showed me a bit of footage and sort of said, look, try and pull it back a little bit, but feed it in. And as soon as I'd done that, we went miles quicker. So that's a real good lesson I learned last week, which I can take into Donington for this week. So
that's another good confidence factor. I mean, Josh obviously is quite experienced. I mean, last year, I think the opening round, he won the first race at Donington Park. So his knowledge is key, really, isn't it?
He's incredible. I can't tell people how good he is. He's such a professional person, you know, and same with Tom. For me, in my second year, to be with them two guys is such, you know, a buzz. I mean, I remember being fans of these boys, you know, a couple of years ago, and I met Tom Chilton down in Brighton, 16 years ago, and I was like, no way, there's Tom Chilton. So me and all my mates grabbed hold of him, we dragged him in the pub to have a beer with us and all that. And now he's my teammate, so it's really weird. And I've got a picture somewhere of me and him down in Brighton all these years ago, when I was like his fan, and now he's my teammate. So, but back on the professional level, I mean, Josh is just out of this world. He's definitely a championship winner in the future in touring car. Tom's probably the quickest person on the grid over one lap. They're both helping me. They're both, you know, really, you know, our relationship is really special between the three of us. And I just think it just makes for a cracking season. And I think I'm the perfect person to sit in the middle, because that relationship is definitely going to get tested, because they're both going to be in the same track at the same part at the same point at some point. And I think having me in the middle is going to be a good thing there.
Well, look, let's face it, when the helmet goes on, everyone wants to win, yourself included. You know, you'll be pushing, I'm sure, as hard as you can. But just going back to that thing you said about Tom earlier, have you admitted to him that you were his biggest fan at one point?
Yeah, he remembers it. He's got a memory like an elephant, honestly. As soon as we signed the deal, and he's like, oh, do you remember that? Because his mum and dad were having a house built, and a lot of my friends worked on his house randomly as well back in the day, like 7-8 years ago. And he remembered all that then, because they used to say, oh, my friends know you and all this sort of stuff. So, yeah, he does know that. And he does sort of rip me about a little bit about that. I used to be a fan of his.
So, Creasy, what's your expectations for the weekend? As you said earlier, I know this is your sort of second full season in touring cars, and you seem to have learnt and developed an awful lot, and having the other two teammates that you have around you is even better for you. What are your expectations?
I'm going to play a game of golf this weekend. I'm going to be steady par, nice level par first round, just get it home, score some points. Second round, I'm going to make the cut, get through to the next round, and then the third race I'm going to try and push to, but three points finishes, 3 top 15s this weekend, and it'd be like swimming the channel to me.
Is it really about taking each race as it comes? So first race out of the way, back to base, talk to the engineers, have a chat with the other drivers, find out what you need to change maybe for the second?
Yeah, I mean, listen. I'm confident. You know, I've won 2 championships in the past. You know, I've had to win races. I've won multiple races in Ginetta to win that championship. I know what it's like to be towards the front. A lot of people sort of saying, you know, we want to see you up there challenging. I know what I need to do. It's just I want to focus on the Jack Sears Championship this year. That's my main goal. Every year we've set a goal out for the last 4 years, and we've done exactly what it is. And all my sponsors have said, as long as you win doing these goals, they're going to carry on sponsoring me. So it's very important we keep our eyes on the Jack Sears. If I'm in the position to have an overall win or a podium, 100%. But like I say, just being a sponge, learning off Tom and Josh, and the engineers, we've got the best team in that paddock for quality with mechanics and engineers and drivers. Why wouldn't I lean on that? And this is going to put me here for the next 10 years in British Touring Car and hopefully become a household name. Do you know what I mean? That's my goal.
Well, let's face it, you mentioned Ginetta's there, and that's a superb championship as well. And it's no mean feat, is it, battling in that championship?
Yeah, I mean, brilliant. What a brilliant feeding ground from Ginetta Juniors all the way up to Le Mans now. The Ginetta car, you can get on their program and go all that way. But I mean, you look at some of the stars, even just like Lando Norris, for instance, coming out of Ginetta Juniors and into Formula One. It's so competitive. And the year that I raced in the G55 Super Cup, we had 11 wins. I think we had 19 podiums out of 22 races. So, it was. I've done it. I've been there and done it. I've raced with some really good drivers coming through. Harry King, for instance, he's gone on now to Porsches. He's a fantastic driver. We've had good races. So I know that I can mix it with these boys. It's all about just taking it another step forward now and taking it into British Touring Car, which is, again, a completely different animal.
Well, Creasy, it's been fantastic talking to you this morning. Obviously, want to wish you well for the weekend, and no doubt you'll have plenty of fans cheering you on.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think the support I've had so far on social media and all year, everyone's itching to see where I'm going to be, and if I can pull a result out for them, we're definitely going to celebrate in style. That's for sure, that's certain.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you at the weekend.
Cheers, guys.